Thank you for listening to the Dog Trainers Podcast, a podcast created by dog trainers for dog trainers, or anyone who's ever fallen in love with man's best friend.
Episode 36, Trainers to the Rescue, featuring Bobby Dorafshar.
Well, that's how everything is started. So what I was going to tell you, at New Leash on Life, I want to do more. And what I want to do was, I want to let the public knows, because I had a lot of clients with a lot of money from Beverly Hills, from attorneys, from doctors. And anytime they want to get a dog, I say rescue. One goes, oh, no, those are not good. I'd rather go to breeder and spend $3,000. Okay. And they wouldn't even know what they're getting because they will go to the wrong breeders, the people they just do inbreeding, and they're just doing what the puppy looks like and how much money they get out of it. So I want to change that mentality. So that was my next challenge at my nonprofit. So I said, I have the knowledge, I have volunteers, I can teach volunteers, I can train volunteers, and I'm going to go to the shelter and I'm going to pull 3 dogs and I'm going to bring them in and I'm going to train them to be a service dog. So that's what I did. The first dog I rescued was Terran, black shepherd, which when I saw him at the shelter, I didn't know he's shepherd. No hair, just the black skin.
Oh, man.
And mange. But this dog, I read him and this dog was great. So I rescued him and I rescued 2 other ones and I brought him in. 2 of them passed after the obedience. This dog ended up to be the most beautiful, unbelievable, shiny, dark black hair. And it became unbelievably great dog for working with kids. Okay. So we done 3 of them in matter of 7 months. And we adopt them out to the family they need. We had therapists talk to them and introduce them and go from there. And my first client, which he followed in love with Terran, was a 7-year-old kid, which at 7 years old did not speak. And they came over. We showed them 3 dogs. For some reason, Terran and her, they get along very well. They came back for 6 different sessions with the therapist. We went over. We did the adoption. 2 weeks later, I got this letter from their mom. She's talking to the dog. And even now, I got a goosebump.
The little girl's talking to the dog.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
She started talking.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
after all this therapy they went in, they were shocked about how she started talking after 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
So then all of a sudden we start working with volunteers. They brought their own dogs. We start training them to be a therapy dog. We went to the hospitals. We went to retirement homes. We went to everybody. We had 84 animals going to different places every week. So that was the next step. The program I called Lend a Paw. So it went on for around 6-7 years with no problem. So that's how that start.
So real quick to dive in. So you started this nonprofit with your girlfriend, who is now your wife of how long now?
20 years.
20 years. And you guys started educational programs. You started a therapy dog program called Lend a Paw to help take shelter animals and turn them into therapy and service dogs. And then 2005 comes around. Okay. I was a junior in high school, I think, at the time, 2005. And Hurricane Katrina came and just decimated the South, Louisiana, New Orleans, everywhere, decimated the South. And this has always been one of my favorite stories of yours, Bobby, is how I'll just line it up and you give us the details. Let's actually paint the picture. You also started a new company, and when was it?
2006.
2006. So in 2005, you were building a new company, right? Like putting in the drywall, laying the piping down, all of this stuff. And in the middle of all this natural disaster happens.
Well, yeah. Just for you to know, Ashton was born in 2003, end of 2003.
Ah, okay. There you go.
Okay. His birthday was yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So,
Happy birthday, Ashton.
yeah. So, Ashton is a little bit over a year
Okay.
developing new company. I took a special course with SPCA in San Diego about animal law because I want to know, and also I want to be an estate officer
Mm-hmm.
to go against cruelty to animals. So
Mm,
there's so much I had to know. So for 2 weeks, I packed and I went to San Diego, and it's over 400 pages of a book. We finish it in 2 weeks. So I'm in the hotel, 8 hour class, come home, research, do the paper, go back, 8 hour class, come back, have Sunday off. A lot of times, Kelly and Ashton came over on Saturday
nice.
and stay with me for a day. Then they would leave. And driving back from San Diego, on the news, I find out because I didn't watch TV, I didn't listen to radio. I realized we just had Katrina going on.
Oh, wow.
So I'm coming home. I called a friend of mine, Cash,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Oh my God, it's very bad. I have a lot of friends in Texas, and they got the end of it, but it's not bad in Texas." I said, "I want to go." And he goes, "Let's do it." So I go home and take care of a couple things. I start calling all the vets I was dealing with, all the pet shop I was dealing with, all of my supporters with New Leash on Life, and kind of put a meeting together with the board. And I said, this is what I want to do, and it's not going to cost the nonprofit any money. I will put them on, or I will gather money for this program.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I want to do it for nonprofit, I had to go through the
Board.
meetings, and the board has to approve it and put a
Mm-hmm.
budget on it. But it was such a disaster. It wasn't about the budget. It's about what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up to loading up the van with used crates, foldable crates, brand new crates, a lot of food. Then I called friend of mine, best friend,
Francis.
Francis, and I said, I'm planning to come over. And he goes, Oh my God, we need covers, we need this.
Yeah,
So
those of you
in
guys who don't know who Francis is, he's the founder of
Best
Best
Friend
Friends.
Animal Sanctuary
Yeah, in
Society.
Utah, and also one of the founders of NKLA out here in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
So I said, okay, I will get the list what you need. Let me know if you need any help. Let me know. I'll be glad to do it. So me and Cash with the 15 passenger van, which it was completely empty with all the seats, full of everything you could imagine, from medication of antibiotics to whatever you can imagine. We load them up, and the roof rack, which it was a 12-foot roof rack, stack up 6 foot high. And me and Cash, we start driving towards Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
On the way, I got a call, and they said they need cover and they need tarps because it still rains and they have shelters going on. So in Texas, we went there and we purchased from Home Depot every tarp they had.
Hmm.
We bought cases of the tarps. So we go there, we drop them off to best friend. I noticed they have a lot of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So we get back and we went to HSUS and SPCA Center because I had a badge from SPCA and also I worked with HSUS in past. So we go there and going to sign in. I told them I have some crates and I have some food. And the first question on the table was, are they brand new in the box? Because if they're not in the box, we don't need it. So all of a
Okay.
sudden, my anger start coming up again, and I'm like, "Are you guys a pet shop or are you guys rescue facility? I have nothing for you guys." It was very late, haven't slept for 2 nights almost. So we went in. They had this tent, beautiful air conditioning, heating, everything you can imagine, and shower. And they used this ranch, which it was 90 miles away from the city. And they have all kind of food. They got everything else they need. So I said, okay. What time is the rescue, search and rescue starts? They said 5 o'clock in the morning, line up in the front. 5 o'clock in the morning, I feel I'm very capable. I have all the equipment I need. Standing up, there are more than 200 volunteers standing up. This person comes over, took 10 people, and he goes, okay, see you guys tomorrow. And I look at Cash and I'm like, I didn't drive down here to wait till tomorrow.
Mm.
So we go back in, we packed up. I noticed a bunch of volunteers sitting. I said, I'm going to the city. I want to go to the middle of this hurricane and I want to rescue who's coming. We end up to have 5 cars following me. So we go to Louisiana, and obviously it was closed, but based off all the badges and everything else they allowed me to go, and I told them those 4 cars are with me.
Mm.
So we go in, we went to Winn-Dixie, and we camp out. No electricity, no water, no nothing, no bathrooms, nothing. So we start working. I had probably 5 gallon tank of a gas. I had a 50-gallon water tank on the top of the van, and I had 5 generators I took with me from LA. So we set up the situation, and based off my shits and work with police department in past, I contact Louisiana Police Department before the trip. They told me 2 of their dogs are passed, but they need antibiotic.
Mm.
So I end up to go to the police station, introduce myself to them, and give them all the antibiotic and everything. But at 7 o'clock at night, nobody could drive or go through the city at all. I told them my problem is I need to go back and get more stuff come back. So they give me a pass, they give me a siren to put on my car,
That's cool.
and they allow me, they give me a pass so I can go at any time, I can go in and out of the city.
Hmm.
So at night, I will drive 90 miles, fill up all the gas tanks, go to HSUS, pick up some food. They thought I'm their volunteers, but we needed food over there. And we start rescuing animals. They find out I work with aggressive dogs, so I end up to be
Like
a
the point person,
point
right?
person to the animals. They show aggression because then police or sheriff or anybody else that will shoot them if they see
Mhm.
them, they're
Right.
showing aggression.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How many rescue organizations were there at the
Oh, a
time?
lot.
Yeah.
A lot. There were a lot of individual from the person does rescue alligator to I'm not joking,
Duck
with a little
rescue.
tiny boat to the dog rescue to the cat rescue. A lot of crazy people. We had a 9-year-old Rambo. The guy had 2 guns on the side, knife on the things. It was size of a machete,
Wow.
and bullying everybody around. We have all kind of a people. So we were there, and they told us there is another storm coming in, so we need to leave the area. So we load up uh, 7 dogs and 3 cats, and we drove back to Los Angeles
Mm.
full of animals in the car. So we came back, and the last thing I remember, I told my buddy, and I go, there is no way I can go back to that situation. There is no way I can handle that kind of a stress of a 1 week of a stress. So I'm back home around 2 weeks. I got foster for all the dogs. We found one of the owners of one of the dogs. So I decided to go back. So I put from New Leash on Life, I put an email out. I'm going back. I'll pay for all the expenses. And we met a lot of people there from Florida. I contact them. They were vet techs,
So wait, you said you weren't gonna go back,
but I went.
and then you said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna
Yes.
go back again."
So I went and I rented a toy hauler and a truck. And I remember I borrowed Tia Torres's truck
No, Tia Torres is
with the Pitbull Rescue.
Pitbull and Parolees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I borrowed her truck, and another friend had a big RV. So he brought the RV. We had 4x4 trucks, one van, and around 24 volunteers from Orange County all the way to the valley. So we did a caravan, and we went and we made the mobile hospital because 2 of the volunteers, they were vets, one from Canada and one from Florida.
Mm.
and we paid for their gas. We had food for everybody, and we stayed another 3 weeks. And
Wow.
we brought back 84 animals back to us. We did over 3,500 rescue way over. We developed a program in Los Angeles. Anybody want to rescue? We did a background check on them because a lot of dog fighters they were
Mhm.
coming and selecting animals.
Mhm.
So, and also we had an 800 number we developed. Anybody was living there, they had to leave their animals. They could contact that number, and then they would contact us. They give us the address, name, and description of the animal and where they hide usually. And with the GPS, we would go and we rescue those animals and we contact their owners.
Mhm.
And also, we make the calendar with all the rescue we do. We send them through email, and they would make the calendar with all the animals, and they would send them to the states close to Louisiana. So
Mhm.
if there is somebody moved out, they can find their animals. So we brought back 84 animals. On the road, we find another dog in Texas. We picked that one up as well, middle of freeway at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we divide them to different organizations, which we knew. It was amazing how everybody got involved. And 3 days later, we got back on Friday. 3 days later, on Monday, I got a call from one of our volunteers still at Louisiana. They said HSUS left, and they left 120 pit bull behind.
Oh my
That
God.
means they're going to be killed. So we end up through some of our good connection, we end up to getting the private plane, and they brought all of those to Los Angeles as well.
Oh wow.
And we divide them between organizations. So that was my story of Louisiana and a challenge we had to deal
Wow.
with everybody there.
Wow. So you went to Hurricane Katrina multiple times. We have
Total of a month I
a
was there.
total of a month cumulatively,
Yeah.
both
And
trips.
remember, Ashton is 1 year old, Kelly
Yeah,
running my
I
business,
know.
and one of my trainers was doing the training,
Yeah.
and that was the time when I was gone. They hired Sharon.
Yeah. Good old Sharon. Sharon was one of my first training managers. Shout out to Sharon Ventura.
Yes,
Um, let's see. Okay, so all of this has happened. So you saved over 300 dogs, but over 3,500
rescue.
animals. So lizards, alligators,
I didn't do
cats. Oh, no
alligators. I
alligators.
didn't do
So like
alligators. We did
out.
everything
So
from
cats,
birds
birds.
to even anything, something little, something big. We just pulled anything we could pull
Anything,
out,
yeah, anything that had a life. That was really
and
awesome.
it was exhausting. Believe me, I would go
Yeah.
to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 4:35.
Yeah, I mean I've heard this tale, many times from multiple people, and this could be its own documentary. What you guys went through, in Hurricane Katrina, the stories,
A lot
the
of
it's a
pictures.
little. It reminded me when I would hear it, just to give people some visual. If you ever seen the movie Zombieland, it's kind of like it's everything's barren. No one's around. There's empty
Well,
cars on the road. There's
well,
all this other
the funny
stuff.
things about it, you saying that. Remember, there were no colors,
Mm-hmm.
there were no sound.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get to that position, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So there is no bird singing, there is no greenery. Everything is gray.
Just mud.
Everything is mud. Then your passion hit and your emotion hits because you go to the house. They're supposed to have dogs because they said beware of dog, and you see in the backyard there are two dead dogs on the 6 foot leash, which the water went over 12 foot.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or some of them, they're hanging from the electric post because the water brought them up and they died and they landed. I mean, it just like you just want to cry,
Yeah.
and you just want to know why government didn't allow these people to take their pets,
Yeah.
you know, or they put a dog in the crate on the first floor
Mm,
rather putting them on the second floor in a crate, or let them loose at
yeah.
least so they have a chance to survive.
Yeah.
So they were so emotional and so sad. So it's you got to be very, very strong to be able to
Yeah.
be effective on that type of a situation.
Yeah.
Okay, not many people could do it. A lot of people, they had to leave right away. A lot of people
Yeah.
were crying all night. So we end up to spending more time to calming those people down
Hmm.
than doing the rescue you're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how it was.
That's tough just to even think, you know, to think of lost life in human standpoint, animal standpoint, and
Sad.
it's oy, that's tough.